Hey, and welcome back to my channel, Left Field Mama, where I focus on parenting against the grain. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join me as I share with you tips and tricks that I have found along the way of my unconventional parenting journey. One of the biggest challenges of parenting when it comes to our children's education is helping them foster that love of learning while they're also working on areas that they might be struggling in. And I don't know about you, but that's always been part of my journey with my two children, where, they just didn't want to do the flashcard drills, and it was just challenging to foster that excitement of them wanting to research more and to want to just grow in their education. And so in this last year of my life of doing homeschool, I've discovered a few different things that have worked really well for my children. And as I said in previous videos, I have two children with ADHD. They're very active, they're very creative, and they love hands-on learning. And what I have found is whether your child has ADHD or not, most kids love hands-on learning. So much more fun. They're tactile, they want to see it, they want to hear it, they want to feel it. And so through that journey, I have discovered a few things that we've added to our homeschool day that you could easily add to your homeschool day, or even just in a regular routine with your children that will just really help accentuate their education, but for them to also have fun. One of the things that I found the most helpful this school year with my children is games. Anything that I could turn into a game, my children were completely 100% in. So a lot of times if there was a concept that they were really struggling with, whether it's math or sight words or parts of speech, anything like that, learning their states and capitals, instead of doing mundane worksheets where they would usually whine and cry, I would find games to do with them. And we're so fortunate in this day and age that we have things like Pinterest and all these free printables out there. So many creative people that have created amazing resources for us to just click and print and use. So what I have found with my children is that if I incorporate games once a day with them, they're happy and they're learning and they're progressing. So it's something as simple as if you're teaching maybe money, for instance, how to make change. We found a carnival game and they literally roll a dice, and if they land on a picture, they pull out how much they owe and then they have to pay me, and we make change, and they're learning how to use money. Super simple game, a couple minutes to print out, and my kids mastered how to make change and how to count money out. I had found different games when it comes to parts of speech. Bingo, every kid loves bingo. This is all of the contractions. So we just found different resources that they can do. Another thing that is a great investment, and usually around now, Target and some of the Dollar Trees will have them, but you can also go to a teacher supply store, probably Amazon, are these plastic reusable charts that you can do dry erase marker on. And one of the things that my kids really love is these free printables, there it is, where they can write on the board, and this is like Connect 4. And with this game, they simply are doing math. 1 plus something is 10. And so we were working on quick drills, being able to come up with those numbers really quick. And so they color the circle in, and it's exactly like Connect 4. They're just trying to get 4 in a row. So with these charts, you can do a lot of different stuff with them and just slip in different games. There are a lot of free printables out there that are dice games. If you're teaching fractions, you might find a printable like this where they're rolling the dice, and depending on what number it lands on, they're putting a placeholder or an X, all kinds of different things. These charts are also really great for even just learning states and capitals. You could print off a blank map of the United States and have them fill it out. Or if they're doing times tables, put a blank times table map in and let them do it. So you can do quick drills and time them. If they are motivated by like timed games, you can, find multiplayer games. But these are just a sampling of some of the things that we found that really worked well in our house. And even when they mastered the subject, they ask over and over to do these games. So I would encourage you, if you're looking for something that's a little bit different than you having to give them a worksheet, or if your children are just really bored and they're whining about stuff, get on Pinterest or even just do a Google search and look up free printable games. And you can even be specific of what you're looking for. If it's, if it's a math concept you're trying to do, or if it's, you know, something in grammar or spelling, and there is so much stuff out there. One of the most amazing tips that we found this year was using our windows. As you can see, my daughter has a dry erase marker, and she's literally just drawing on the windows. This is a great tool for doing any subject. You can let them draw pictures, you can do math, you can do spelling. My children love to rainbow write their spelling words with different colors. And even sometimes if you have a room with multiple windows, my children like to get their own window and have spelling races. So this is a tool that you probably already have built into your house that you can use, and simply use your dry erase marker and let the creativity go. Another must-have in our house are activity trays. Often when we start our school day, I like to have kind of a fun warm-up. So sometimes we do the games that I mentioned previously, and other times I'll have activity trays out for my kids to do. And what that might look like is this. First of all, these trays are worth every penny. I got these at the dollar spot at Target, but you can also get them on Amazon and any teacher supply store. They are really a must-have. They contain science projects, you can do art projects on them. I cannot say enough about them. They're wonderful. So an activity tray in our house might be something as simple as putting a geoboard for them to do on the tray, or often I'll set magnet type activities on there, and it doesn't seem to matter how old my kids are, they still love this stuff. So giving them some different items on this tray that they can play with magnets. Sometimes I'll put different things on there that are not magnetic just for them to kind of play with. Sometimes I have watercolors on there, or maybe Play-Doh, or a little science experiment, you know, marshmallows and toothpicks, and just let them build. So a lot of like art, processed art, STEM, just things that they can be creative with. There isn't a lot of limitations to it. And these are really handy to have nearby. These are also great activities if you're working with one child and you have one that's waiting for your attention, because this will keep them busy for a little bit. And as your kids get a little bit older, you can make it a little bit more challenging. But I even find with my kids that, I guess they're rising 4th and 6th grade, they still love geoboards and Play-Doh. And finally, one of the last tips that has worked really well in our house are sensory bins. Now, my kids are getting a little bit older, so they don't use these as much as they did when they were younger. However, if you find yourself in a situation where you're trying to work with one child and you have a younger child at home that needs something to do, these are a lifesaver. All you need is some sort of a tub or bin, and you can fill them with rice or oatmeal or beans or noodles. You can change the different textures out for the children. You can put, you know, measuring cups and spoons. You can put different little fake bugs, different things for them to dig out depending on their age. But a lot of kids find these very soothing, even at an older age. You'd be surprised at how many 4th and 5th graders have been here and said, oh, these are really fun. It's very soothing for them to be able to just kind of dig and play in some of these sensory bins. So this is something that you can have on hand. You can just stack them in a closet, just pull them out every once in a while, and it's something different. And they can play in it, they can relax, they can be creative in it. It's unstructured and hopefully gives you that time that you need. Well, I hope that these tips were as helpful for you as they have been for our family. My hope is that it will continue to foster your children's love for learning, as well as give you that freedom to work one-on-one with your children. If any of these were your favorite or they worked really well in your house, I'd love to hear about it. Leave me a comment and let me know what you did and what your kids thought. And as always, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and follow me in my unconventional parenting journey. I'll always be sharing with you the different tips and tricks that I find along the way.